Everyone, this is Pustakverma and you are watching Pustakverma Education for All YouTube channel. And today we are going to discuss about a story, The Tattered Blanket by Kamala Das from the Unit 10 Home Life and Family Relationships and Grammatical Sections Connectives from Grade 11 Compulsory English New Course. So, before dealing with the chapter, we find there is a famous proverb by Mother Teresa. What can you do to promote world peace? Go home and love your family. If you want to do something for the world, if you want to promote peace in the world, first of all, you have to go your home and start loving your family members. This is the main line presented by Mother Teresa. Then Rumi also said, "We are born of love, and love is our mother." She associates the term love with the mother. So it's about the author Kamala Das. And Kamala Suraya, also known as Kamala Madhavkutti, was a major Indian English poet and a leading Malayalam author from Kerala state. South India. Kamala Das is a internationally known poet, and she's a short story writer and novelist in both Malayalam as well as English language. That means she has written the stories both in Malayalam language as well as in English language. दुईटै भाषामा स्टोरी लेखेकी छिन्. She is the daughter of a famous Malayalam poet Balamani Amma and B.M. Nair. The main theme of her work is उनको कामहरू उनको जो वर्कहरू छन् लिटरेरी वर्क्सहरू त्यसको मेन थीम के हो त फेमिनिटी is the modernity. Femininity and modernity are the major theme of works of Kamala Das. So before dealing with the chapter, we find is there are some questions mentioned in our textbooks. We will discuss about that. What is happening in the first picture? पहिलो पिक्चरमा के भइरहेको छ? As we see the textbooks, we find there is a woman is in pitiful or miserable condition. एकदम दयनीय अवस्थामा एउटा women छिन्. And their hard labor for the family र उनको परिश्रम कडा कार्यहरू पनि देखाइएको छ. What do you think is the elderly woman in the second picture doing? Does she look happy or not? Second picture मा women ले के गरिरहेकी छिन्? The elderly woman in the second picture is carrying grass. र हाम्रो टेक्स्टमा देखाएको पिक्चरमा एउटा woman ले grass carry गरिरहेको छ and she is carrying a baby as well. त्यही womenले एउटा बच्चा पनि बोकिरहेकी हुन्छन् with much difficulty. No, she doesn't look happy as she performs her task with much difficulty and she is in troublesome situation. उनी एकदमै कठिनाई अथवा समस्यामूलक सिचुएसनमा हुन्छन्. Then about the glossary terms of the tattered blanket. Tattered भनेको च्यातिएको, blanket भनेको कम्बल. र यो हाम्रो युनिट 10 बाट निकालिएको छ. The unit 10 is home life and family relationship. Home life भनेको गृह जीवन र family relationship भनेको पारिवारिक सम्बन्ध. The significant अथवा the difficult words from these chapters are unexpectedly भनेको अप्रत्याशित रूपमा, huddled अड्किएको, reluctantly अनिच्छाले, and screaming कस्नु, peered समकक्षी, granted scratching grinding, dropped खस्यो, scared डराउनु, awkwardly अप्ठ्यारो रूपमा, wrinkled झिउरिएको च्याउरी परेको, mumbling गनगन गर्दै, exasperately आक्रोशित हुँदै, नोडल्ड टाउको हल्लायो, इरिटेसन जलन, and feebly कमजोर रूपमा. So these are the difficult word meanings from the chapter The Tattered Blanket. Then the main points are main idea of the story The Tattered Blanket. The Tattered Blanket is an executively written emotional story by Kamala Das. यो कमला दासद्वारा लेखिएको एउटा इमोसनल स्टोरी हो about an old mother, एउटा बुढी आमाको बारेमा, and her son र उनको छोरा, who is least bothered about her, and the widowed daughter of the old lady. Thus, altogether, three main characters that we find in this story: the old mother, her son who works in a city, and her widowed daughter. त्यो बुढी आइमाईको एउटा विधवा छोरी हुन्छ. After 5 years, Gopi comes to Kerala to see his mother. 5 वर्षपछि आफ्नो आमालाई भेट्न आउँछ. Gopi is a big officer in Delhi, living with his wife Vasanta and 4 children. जो आफ्नो श्रीमती र 4वटा बच्चासँग सहरमा बसिरहेको हुन्छ. He has come to Tiruvananthapuram as a part of his official assignment. In fact, he hasn't come to meet his mother. वास्तवमा आफ्नो आमालाई त्यो भेट्न आएको हुँदैन. ऊ अफिसियल कामले गाउँतिर आएको हुन्छ. He just dropped his way back to meet his mother. फिर्ता हुने बेलामा उनले आमालाई भेट्छ. His mother is very old, जो एकदमै बुढी हुन्छन्. She lives with his eldest sister Kamala, who is a widow. जो उसको अथवा यस जेठी दिदीसँग बसिरहेकी हुन्छन्, जो एउटा विधवा हुन्छन्. When he arrived unexpectedly at his home, जब घरमा बिना आशैको बिना कुनै सूचनाको घरमा पुग्छ in his countryside, his mother was lying in a armchair. आमा एउटा कुर्सीमा बसिरहेको हुन्छन् on the veranda. Mother fails to recognize her son. आमाले चिन्न सक्दैनन् as she is very old, her eyesight is very poor. बुढी भएको हुन्छन्, आँखा कमजोर भइसकेको हुन्छ. She believes that Gopi is still a boy. As we know very well, यसले के देखाउँछ एउटा आमाको छोराप्रतिको लभ. In the eyes of every mother, the son is always a small boy. र त्यस्तै उनीले पनि के सोच्छिन्, Gopi is still a school boy. She doesn't recognize anybody. Sometimes her memory is quite sharp and sometimes she forgets the present, but just remembers the past. When her memory is sharp, she asks about the Gopi's letter from Delhi. जब उनको मेमोरी राम्रो हुन्छ, उनले छोरीसँग सोध्छिन् के गोपीले चिठी लेखेको छ दिल्लीबाट भनेपछि कमला replies, tells her a lie, झुटो बोल्छिन् that everything fine with Gopi and his wife and kids. But Gopi doesn't write any letters to his mother. तर गोपीले कहिले पनि चिठी लेखेको हुँदैन. Then his mother doesn't recognize her son and she asks her son Gopi, who is your amma? उनले आफ्नै यस छोरोलाई के सोध्छिन्, तिम्रो आमाको नाम के हो? What is her name? Where does she live? उनी कहाँ बस्छिन्? Is it far from here? के यो यहाँबाट टाढा छ? But the mother has the picture of her son in his mind. She says that her son अथवा my son lives in Delhi. She says this is her son is in Delhi, a government officer. He draws a salary of 2,500 rupees. उले 2,500 rupees महीनाको कमाउँछ. Mother tells Gopi if he meets her son, asks him to send a blanket. त्यसपछि उले गोपीलाई के भन्छन्, यदि उले गोपीले उसको छोरालाई भेट अथवा उनको छोरालाई भेट्यो भने उसले के गर्ने, घर एउटा ब्ल्याङ्केट पठाइदिन भन्नु, a red one, रातो कलरको. And she has a blanket. उनीसँग एउटा ब्ल्याङ्केट पनि हुन्छ. The one Gopi bought for her when he was studying in Madras. जब गोपी मद्रासमा पढिरहेको हुन्छ, पढ्ने बेलामा आफ्नो आमाको लागि एउटा ब्ल्याङ्केट ल्याएको हुन्छ जुन च्यातिसकेको हुन्छ. त्यसैलाई लिएर उनी बसेकी हुन्छन्. It is all tattered now and just a ball of knotted yarn. धागोले त्यसलाई सिएर उनले राखेकी हुन्छन्. Gopi has come to ask his sister to sell his share of land. Gopi वास्तवमा घर केको लागि आउँछ, आफ्नो भागको जमिन बेच्नको लागि आउँछ and get some money for him. Kamala knows that Gopi has come only for the money, not to see her mother. र कमलालाई थाहा हुन्छ के हुन्छ, गोपी आफ्नो आमालाई हेर्न आएको होइन, पैसाको लागि मात्र आएको. It took more than 5 years for him to find the time to come home, Kamala says. कमलाले के भन्छन्, 5 वर्ष उलाई लाग्यो. Amma is 83 years. अहिले उनी 83 years की छिन् आमा. Yes, and I don't think she will pull on much longer. अब धेरै लामो उनी बाँच्दैनन्. It took you so long to visit her after the last time. But Gopi has his excuses for not visiting Amma. ऊ कुनै पनि excuse लिँदैन यस अथवा आमाको लागि भिजिट गर्नको लागि. He says Amma cannot remember who am I. यो मेरो आमाले मलाई पनि चिन्न सक्नु भएन, म को हुँ भनेर भन्छिन्. The story ends with Kamala question. कमलाले त्यसपछि लास्टमा क्वेशन गर्छिन् र कथा अन्त्य हुन्छ. But do you remember your Amma? Amma doesn't recognize her son because she has lost her power of memory. In fact, forgetfulness is the blessing for her. वास्तवमा उनी आमाले आफ्नो छोराको बारेमा बिर्सेर राम्रो गरेकी छिन्. उनले थाहा पाएको भए कि छोरो आमालाई नहेरेर बरु आफ्नो भागको जग्गा बिक्री गर्न पैसाको लागि आएको छ भने आमालाई अझ बढी दुख हुन्थ्यो. Her son doesn't have any love for his mother. This is the one of the brilliant stories, short stories penned by Madhav Kuti in Malayalam. Her focus has always been tormented female self-carving for love, and she is concerned with the condition of women and the way in which they are betrayed in the society. कसरी femaleहरू समाजमा धोका पाइरहेका छन्. In the tattered blanket, mother craves for her son's love. Her son is evergreen in his memory. आफ्नो छोराको प्रतिको माया देखाउँछिन्, but she has been overpowered by forgetfulness. तर उनलाई यो बिर्सने एउटा के हुन्छ, एक किसिमको सिम्टम्स भइसकेको हुन्छ उनमा. She needs a red blanket because the old one is tattered. Her blanket represents warmth of her son's love, and she actually needs her son's love. So in this way the story presents these ideas. Yes, the story also can be presented in visual form. आमा बुढी भइसकेकी छिन्, आर्म चेयरमा बसेकी हुन्छन्, विडो हुन्छ, सिस्टर कमला हुन्छन्, यो एउटा गोपी हुन्छ जो विदेशमा उसमा दिल्लीमा काम गर्छ. यसरी आमा आर्म चेयरमा बसेकी हुन्छन्, अनि साइडमा विधवा विडो सिस्टर बसेको हुन्छ, गोपी गाडीमा आउँछ. यो ट्याटर्ड ब्ल्याङ्केट देखाइएको छ, एन्ड गोपीले के गर्छ, ह्याभ कन्भर्सेसन विथ कमलास एन्ड इभन हिज मदर. यस, so these visual images also displays is how the story is presented by Kamala Das is in the tattered blanket. Then about ways with word. Yes, अब वर्ड्सहरुसँग डिलिङको कुरा गर्छ. फर्स्ट वान इज इरिटेसन. इरिटेसन भनेको एकदमै दिक्क हुनु अथवा चिडचिडाहट हुनु. हडल्ड अप भनेको छ नजिकै आउनु. अक्वर्डली अप्ठ्यारो महसुस गर्नु. फ्युटाइल तुच्छ व्यर्थ भनेछ. ग्रान्टिङ झुकाउ भइहाल्यो. मम्लिङ गनगन गर्दै. फिबली कमजोर. सो यो वर्ड्सहरु फिल इन द ब्ल्याङ्क्स विथ एन एप्रोप्रिएट वर्ड्स. यो वर्ड्सबाट चुज गर्ने र राइट प्लेसेसमा भर्ने. So here is A. All the efforts to convince her for the tour were futile. Is व्यर्थको थियो. The last traveler huddled up under a settler made of branches and leaves. Her rude behavior was the main causes of irritation for him. Is उसको rude behavior main causes थियो. And she moved awkwardly in the room, thinking that I was watching. She is mumbling something, but I cannot hear her. When I met her sister after a long time, she talked to me in a feebly voice. Then about tick the best अथवा tick the correct word that are similar in the meaning to underline word. त हाम्रो यहाँ के गरेको छ, एउटा सेन्टेन्स दिएको छ, यसमा एउटा underline word is given and we have to find out the exact similar word for this underlined word. Yes, the Rupa studied science reluctantly due to her father's pressure. It can be matched with the second one, unwillingly, बिना इच्छाले. Yes, she moved her fingers exasperately through her hair भनेको annoyingly. And this third one, see, my grandmother was over 80. She lifted her hand feebly. कमजोर तरिकाले. It can be matched with weakly. She's wearing a tattered shawl, that means torn shawl. I have to work at two jobs to make ends meet in this expensive city to earn just enough money. Then syllabus is D. Consult the English dictionary and find the number of syllabus in the following words. Bari, बरीको syllabus कति छ? 2 syllabus. अनि यसरी बरी भनेको छ. Development 4 syllabus. Syllabic 3 syllabus. Vowel 2 syllabus. Education 4 syllabus. And discipline 3 syllabus. Examination 5 syllabus. Number of is children 2 syllabus. Even separately 4 syllabus. Pronunciation 5 syllabus. So here you have to find out the number of syllabus of the given words. Then comprehensions, answer the following questions. So read the questions and try to write the answers. Why didn't the mother recognize her son Gopi? The mother didn't recognize her son Gopi because she was 80 years old and she had lost her memory. Why is the sister living with her mother? The sister is living with her mother because she is a widow and nobody is there to take care of her mother. Sister ले किन हेरचाह गरिरहेकी हुन्छन्? किन त सिस्टर विडो हुन्छ र त्यहाँ आमाको हेरचाह गर्ने कोही पनि हुँदैन. What is the sister's attitude towards brother? Sister को प्रवृत्ति विचार ब्रदर प्रति कस्तो छ? क्रिटिकल छ अथवा नट गुड, धेरै राम्रो छैन, आलोचनात्मक छ. Does the son love his mother very much? How do you know that? Yes, he does. Ule maya garcha. We know by his love of bending down and bringing his face close to her wrinkled cheeks. Ule ढोग्ने गर्ने काम गर्छ त्यसका नामले के भन्छौँ? He loves his mother. What does the mother actually need? Amale ke need garsin? A blanket or the warmth of his son's love? The mother actually needs the warmth of her son's love. Here, blanket symbolizes the love and care. What does the phrase tattered blanket mean? Tattered blanket, च्यातिएको blanketsले के भन्न खोजेको छ? Is it only the blanket that is tattered? The phrase tattered blanket means hurt the feelings of the mother and weakened family relation. यसले के देखाउँछ? कसरी आमाको जो फिलिङ हुन्छ हर्ट गरिएको छ र फ्यामिली रिलेसन कसरी विक कमजोर भएको छ. The son says, Amma cannot remember who am I. Do you think that he remembered his mother? Why didn't he answer when his sister asked, Do you remember your Amma? Yes, no, I don't think he remembered his mother. He didn't answer her questions because it had been a year since he wrote to his mother and more than 5 years since he saw her. So then about critical thinking, what can be the expectation? Expectation भनेको आशाहरू is of the parents. अभिभावकहरूको के आशा हुन सक्छ from their offspring. आफ्नो छोराछोरीबाट अभिभावकहरूले बुढेसकालमा के आशा गर्न सक्छन्. Parents in old age are the weak both physically and mentally, and it is obvious that most aging parents are sad and unhappy with their children's and they complain for the lack of understandings. Unearly they hope so many things. Parents must have some expectation from their children and the children must understand to fulfill them. के expectation हुन सक्छ? The parents hope for love, affection, care from their children. मेरो छोराछोरीले फ्युचरमा बुढेसकालमा love माया गर्नेछन्, affection स्नेह गर्नेछन्. They expect for healthy food, apt clothes is राम्रो खानेकुरा, सुहाउँदो कपडा, comfortable bed, regular health checkup. They desire their children to listen. छोराछोरीले उनीहरूको कुरा सुनुन्, उनको नजिक बसुन्. They expect their children to support emotionally and physically in needs. The elderly people love to share their life experiences. आफ्नो जीवनको एक्सपिरियन्सहरू सेयर गर्न चाहन्छन्. But most of the children seem to neglect in genuine experience of their parents have. The children should permit them to be the part of their life, respecting their suggestions. Our parents do not have high expectation which cannot be fulfilled, and they just want to be loved, cared, respected, and to be with their children. Then about question B. Some children who live in a distance tend to be indifferent to their feelings of their parents. जो छोराछोरीहरू टाढा बस्छन् तिनीहरू आफ्नो प्यारेन्ट्सको फिलिङ भन्दा अलिकति इन्डिफरेन्ट व्यवस्थित हुन्छन्. What do you think they are like that? Why do you think they are like that? किन तिनीहरू त्यस्तो हुन्छन्? Some grown-up children leave their family, parents, and home for several reasons, such as continue their study, in search of job, or start business. धेरै कारणले गर्दा केही grown up चिल्ड्रेनहरूले आफ्नो घर छोडेका हुन्छन् to accomplish their goals, आफ्नो गोलहरू achievement पूरा गर्नको लागि they completely invest their time effort thinking that it doesn't happen in overnight, which creates a gap between parents and the children. जसले गर्दा अभिभावक र छोराछोरीमा के हुन्छ ग्याप क्रिएट हुन्छ. For the grown up children, money, job and success are the more important than the parents feeling. र अहिले आजकलको छोराछोरीहरूमा उनीहरूको लागि मनी, जब र सक्सेस बढी सिग्निफिकेन्ट हुन्छ प्यारेन्ट्स भन्दा, and they do hard work for saving their prestige, social position, but not making their parents happy. They get fully engaged themselves in the materialistic world, visiting parents, spending time with them, and listening to their real experiences become the disgusting ideas for the children. They begin a new life with their family far away from their parental home. For them, their wife, children become the matter of priority more than the elderly parents. So उनीहरूको लागि उनको छोराछोरी, उनको wife बढी significant हुन्छ. They consider that their world is their new home. That is why they have no time to visit their parents, write to them, or call them, or take care of them. This indifference toward their parents not only grades their relationship but also leads their parents to live a lonely and painful life in their old age. The love of a mother to her child is unconditional. त्यसको कुनै पनि conditions हुँदैन. She loves her children deeply. And a mother's love is everlasting and indispensable. This question is important as well, so you can practice these questions by reading here. A mother's love is like a universal truth, unconditional, selfless, everlasting. No condition applied to the love of a mother. Whatever your age, status, everything is precious when it comes to about a mother's love. Truly, when I say mom or mom, my childhood comes up in my eyes, and joys of maturity adults feel me bitter. This is the very famous Proverbs by Dula Bhaya Kav. And this sentence tells us how deep the love of a mother is. There are many historical examples represent the true love of the mother. The mother carries her child for 9 months in her womb. After feeling heavy pain, she will alive the child and gives birth. And this is the power of mother. We live in the 9 month without any ear and not even a single place created by our greatest scientist to save us for a minute without ear. This is the most generous examples of mother's love, which is greater than the dynamism of God. The child never sleeps without her mother. After hearing some songs or hearing voices of him, voices from her, the child will sleep. A child grows up and becomes young for a world, but for mother, he is still a little boy and whom she kisses and she gives everything she has. The mother is a symbol of love, tolerance, patience, forgiveness. No condition is applied to the love of mother. A child finds his mother as a best friend, mentor, teacher, and caretaker. She is the most imperative person in everyone's life. And it is obviously true as well. राइटिङ अ डायरी यस अब कसरी डायरी इन्ट्री गर्ने डायरी लेख्ने भनेर भन्छ अ डायरी इन्ट्री यसको बारेमा हामीले यो च्याप्टरमा सिक्छौँ अ डायरी इन्ट्री इज अ सेक्सन अफ राइटिङ द्याट हेज बिन अर्गनाइज बाई डेट माथि डेट लेख्छौँ अन द बेसिस अफ chapters of a book. Their length can be determined as per to the writer's wish, इच्छाअनुसार बढ्न. Since diaries entries are the chapters in a book, so one should first decide about his or her specific topic and then he or she can begin. Some specific tips for writing diary entry. Diary लेख्दाखेरि के कुरामा ध्यान दिने? पहिलो, write in the first person I, date your entries at the top, pick up pick up a specific topic, organize paragraphs with topic sentence and write naturally, be truthful and be friendly to give a clear message. Focus on the key moment or incident in one's words. Provide a sense of time or sequence. Keep writing or reread your entry. Varied punctuations and sentence types. Make a habit and enjoy doing it. The more you practice writing diaries, the better you will become at it. So these are the tips. हामीले यो कुराहरूमा ध्यान दिने while writing the diary अथवा आइडियाज फर डायरी अब कस्तो खालको हुन्छन् हेल्थ डायरी हुनसक्छ वर्क डायरी हुनसक्छ वेडिङ डायरी हुन्छ इलेक्ट्रोनिक डायरी हुन्छ स्कुल डायरी हुन्छ देयर मे बी सेभरल सर्ट्स अफ डायरीज then correlative conjunctions, the grammatical section that we deal with deal in this chapter is connectives. So both and को use गर्न भनेछ माइकल and can both read and write. माइकलले दुईटै गर्न सक्छ. Not only but also यो मात्र पनि होइन यो पनि. Not only Mary but also Gabriel is from Italy. Either are yes, I can have either coca or tea. So as her story is not so boring as theirs. No sooner then we had no sooner gone to bed than the phone ring. The more and the more. The more you can dream, the more you can do, so that my mother speaks so quickly that nobody understands what she says. Hardly when I hardly closed my eyes when she came, such that she is such a smart boy that passes his maths exam successfully. Neither George nor his brother is very tall. Whether or we must do it whether he likes or not. As he is not singing as loudly as he can, rather than he would rather go out than stay at home today. Scarcely had I gone to bed when the doorbell rang. There are other some even connectives use of after, use of although, as soon as, because, before, by the time, even though, if, in case, and Now that is the examples of these connectives given here. So then we'll see the textbooks is connectives. But, however, although, even though, in spite of, despite. Here all of you have to remember is that this in spite of and despite are same. Although and even though, these both are same. And complete the following sentences with however, although or in spite of. तीनटाको युज गरेर हामीले बनाउने. त पहिलोमा हामीले के भन्न सक्छौं, in spite of the fact that he is an octogenarian, he still leads an active life. B. I still enjoyed the week although the weather was bad. Weather bad भए पनि enjoyed गरे. He has passed MA, however he hasn't got a job. I had a headache. Yes. Although I had a headache, I enjoyed the movies. Ramila didn't get the jobs in spite of the fact that she had all necessary qualifications. In spite of the fact that he had no money, he bought the car anyway. Then we can go to the park for lunch, although the weather report says that it's going to rain. However, I speak English well. My first language is actually Maithili. Combine the following sentences using the words given in brackets. तो पहिलो दिएको छ, he was annoyed, he didn't say anything. तपाईहरुले while using although हामीले के गर्ने, दुईटा सेन्टेन्सको सुरुमा although लेख्ने, बीचमा कमा गर्ने, and we have to copy the questions. If there is but or still or even is, but छ, still छ, and छ भने सेन्टेन्सबाट हटाउने. अदरवाइज although को युज गर्ने बेलामा सेम. अहिले यसको मैले एक्जाम्पल तपाईहरुलाई दिउँला यस. Although he was annoyed, he didn't say anything. However, भनेको छ, playing stock market is exciting. It can be risky. So the answer can be playing stock market is exciting. However, अनि कमा. However पछि हामीले कमा राख्छौं. It can be risky. He walks slowly. He never makes a mistake. Change into even though he walks slowly, he never makes a mistake. It was raining. We still went to the park in spite of rain. We still went to the park. Here we can remove the still as well. यो राखे पनि भइहाल्यो, हटाउँदा पनि केही फरक पर्दैन हामीले. How hark about the watch, it was expensive. Despite being expensive, hark about the watch is यो watch महँगो भए तापनि उले किन्यो. Despite of expensive watch, hark about it. This can be also. How he is very poor, he wears expensive clothes. He is very poor but he wears expensive clothes. Then about the example, अब हामीले बुझ्ने in spite of को प्रयोग कसरी गर्ने. In spite of को प्रयोग दुईवटा बनेको छ. In spite of plus noun phrase. फर्स्ट सेन्टेन्सलाई हामीले NP मा चेन्ज गर्ने, नाउन फ्रेज मा चेन्ज गर्ने, र सेकेन्ड सेन्टेन्स एज इट इज लेख्ने. जस्तो छ सब्जेक्ट वर्ब अब्जेक्ट लेख्ने. अर्को इन स्पाइट अफ नेक्स्ट एक्जाम्पल इज इन स्पाइट अफ द फ्याक्ट दैट. यदि हामीले यो अगाडि यति जोड्यौं भने हामीले सेम सेन्टेन्स सार्न पाइहाल्छौं. In spite of the fact that subject verb object सीधा कपी गरिदिने भनेर भन्छ. The example is it was raining, we still went to the park. So in spite of the fact that it was raining, we went to the park. Same सार्दिने. In spite of raining, we went to the park. In spite of the rain, we went to the park. यो भनेको के हो, हामीले यहाँ यो दुईटामा नाउन फ्रेजमा चेन्ज गरेका छौं र यसमा के गरेका छौं, द फ्याक्टमा चेन्ज गरेका छौं. बट मोस्टली इन द केस अफ आवर इज grammar presented in our text, we have to use this noun phrase is cases. Question D. Rewrite the following sentences using although or in spite of. So use of although is very easy. Although मा same question copy गरिदिने, बीचमा कमा गर्ने, but छ भने but र and लाई हटाउने र sentence सार्दिने. जस्तो यहाँ हामीले के गर्यौं, he had a very little time but he offered to help us. त हामीले के गर्छौं, while using although यो but हटाइदिने, केही गर्नु पर्दैन, अगाडि although लेख्ने, first sentence copy गर्ने and second sentence copy गरिदिने. This is the use of although. Although he had a very little time, he offered to help us. तर in spite of मा के गर्ने, यो फर्स्ट सेन्टेन्स लाई नाउन फ्रेज बनाउने. र नाउन फ्रेज बनाउने धेरै जसो इज मोस्टली we can use this verb लाई हामीले ing मा चेन्ज गरिदिने. has have had छ भने having गरिदिने, इजेम आर वाज वेयर छ भने being मा चेन्ज गरिदिने र त्यस्तो केसेस छैन भने आफ्नो तरिकाले पनि सेन्स युज गरेर we can make the noun phrase. So here, in spite of having very little time, he offered to help us. She is very poor, but she still wears expensive clothes. Although she is very poor, she wears very expensive clothes. हामीले यो still पनि हटाइदिने र but पनि हटाइदिने. तर तपाईहरुले still राख्नुभयो भने पनि मिस्टेक्स हुँदैन, तर हटायो भने पनि बेटर हुन्छ. यस. So in spite of being very poor, यो she wears expensive clothes. He is a millionaire, but he lives in a very small flat. Although he is a millionaire, he lives in a very small flat. In spite of being a millionaire, he lives in a small flat. They have a lot of money, but they are still not happy. Although they have a lot of money, they are not happy. In spite of having a lot of money, they are not happy. The traffic was very heavy, but we got there in time. Although the traffic was very heavy, we got there in time. In spite of heavy traffic, we got there in time. Then other examples are दिएको छ. While using although, हामीले के गर्ने, although लेख्ने, subject above object दुईटै, पहिलो सेन्टेन्स सार्ने, सेकेन्ड सेन्टेन्स सार्ने. In spite of मा के गर्ने, noun phrase लेख्ने र subject above object लेख्ने. नोट, हामीले यदि सेन्टेन्समा but छ, still छ भने we have to remove them, हटाउने. Noun phrase कसरी बनाउने, यदि सेन्टेन्समा इजेमार वाजवेज छ भने better to change them into being र कपी गरिदिने. यदि सेन्टेन्समा के छ, has have had छ भने यसलाई having मा चेन्ज गरिदिने. She is deaf, she still composes song. Although she is deaf, she composes songs. In spite of being deaf, she composes song. In spite of her deafness, she composes song. In spite of the fact that she is deaf, she composes song. So यस्तै हामीले यो यसको hungry को पनि गर्न सक्छौं. She is hungry, she didn't eat anything. Although she is hungry, she didn't eat anything. In spite, despite मा हामीले in spite of the fact that subject above object अगाडि structure जस्तो. In spite of the fact that she is hungry, she didn't eat anything. In spite of being hungry, she didn't eat anything. Then about finding qualified job candidates, 10 important tricks to consider for better hiring. यदि तपाईले कुनै जब होल्डरलाई, कुनै एम्प्लोयीलाई खोजिराख्नु भएको छ त त्यो क्यान्डिडेटमा के क्वालिटिजहरु तपाई हेर्न चाहनुहुन्छ. The considers these 10 traits while evaluating candidates for the job. First, positive attitudes, सकारात्मक उसको सोच हुनु पर्यो. टीम प्लेयर, टीममा काम गर्न सक्नु पर्यो. सेल्फ मोटिभेटेड, आफै सेल्फ मोटिभेटेड हुनु पर्यो. स्ट्रङ वर्क इथिक्स, एकदम नियम कानुन नैतिकता बढी हुनु पर्यो. डिपेन्डेबल हुनु पर्यो, आधारित पनि गर्न सक्नु पर्यो. यस डिटेल ओरिएन्टेड, कुनै पनि चीजको राम्रो स्टडी गरेर अगाडि जानु पर्यो. गुड कम्युनिकेटर, राम्रो कम्युनिकेसन गर्न सक्ने खालको हुनु पर्यो. एडेप्टेबल, वातावरणसँग अनुकूल हुन सक्ने. कन्फिडेन्स एन्ड अनेस्ट. These are the 10 basic qualities that everyone should look while hiring a candidate. So these are the qualities I have already mentioned: motivated, ethical, self-discipline, good and neat workers, goal setters, goal set गर्ने, team players, kind, has integrity, can handle stress, तनाव स्ट्रेस गर्ने खालको, punctuality, regularity भने भएको, communication, positive attitude. So these qualities should be looked in a job candidate while selecting him or her. So okay, this is about the chapter or the story The Tattered Blanket by Kamala Das. Unit 10, Home Life and Family Relationship, and grammatical section Connectives. So if you find this video helpful and interesting, like the video, share it, subscribe it, click on the bell icon to get notification from upcoming videos. Thank you for watching this. Goodbye. Have a good day.